Hey everyone, it is Tuesday, the 5th of June. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe it is already June and gosh, halfway through the year. Well, this is probably one of my favorite modules. It's all about conversational selling, and it really allows, I don't know, I think with this module, it allows you to step back and really enjoy your business. So last week and the week before, we did our kickoff activities, and they were all about your belief. So tonight we're going to talk about our belief in how you can succeed in your Avon business. If you are great at selling Avon products and the Avon opportunity, the sky is the limit. While the word selling can sometimes feel icky, Avon's approach to selling is all about making connections, sharing, and having conversations. So that's the easy part. Today, we are going to learn more about how we can create meaningful, sincere connections and sell the Avon opportunity. In this seminar, we're going to discuss the selling the Avon opportunity, and keep in mind that you can apply these same skills to sell products, and so can your teams. So we want to go from being opportunity takers to opportunity makers. So any of you that were in Charlotte the other day know that Betty Palm's favorite four-letter word is grow. So we're going to learn, we're going to go through the agenda. So it's all about conversational selling. The first S in boss. And we talk about grow. So G, getting to know the person and her needs. Recommending the right Avon solution. Offer a relatable story to demonstrate your belief. And work to establish the next steps. So somewhere on your Avon desk somewhere, you might want to write down grow, but it is in your application guide that I'll be sending to you afterwards. So we're talking about the S in boss, selling. You may be thinking the selling the Avon opportunity is also about the O in outreach. We will align with the O in boss when we can discuss planning later in the program. In this planning module, you will plan who you want to reach out to and how to expand your network. This module is solely focused on selling conversations and how to conduct them. So I'm going to read through this section, and it's going through like timid and passive. So timid and passive would be, I really enjoy working for Avon. Maybe we can chat one day about what it could do for you. Or overly aggressive. How are you looking for an opportunity? And like any other, are you seeking a social life that provides financial freedom? Well, then I have the answer for you. So when you think about, I want you guys to think about a time when someone has been too timid with you or passive with you. So think about a sales experience, or maybe at a restaurant where maybe they seemed a little nervous, maybe they were a little bit timid, or maybe they were a little bit passive. Or perhaps, what about someone that is overly aggressive? So I'm sure you all have situations and stories about a time when you had someone who was very pushy. And I know I've now got Teresa and Zena on and Sandra on, so thank you all so much. Does anybody have a story that they would like to share about someone either being too passive or perhaps too aggressive? Anybody think back in time, maybe they went to a restaurant, or maybe they, I don't know, does anybody have anything that they would like to share? No? Well, think about it. We'll come back to it because I definitely want to hear about anything. Go on, Sandra.
So I was going to say, like when you go to the mall and you got them people in the middle of the aisle there, and they're trying to get you to buy their stuff, and they they don't take no for an answer. They keep talking to you, and you're trying to get away from them.
Oh my gosh, that's an amazing example. And what about, like, I used to be one of these fragrance girls, you know what I mean? Like when you walk through a mall and you got those people spraying fragrance when you first walk in, like that was years ago. They don't do that now, but like, yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, that's such a good example because I always try to walk way outside the box when I see those people in the middle. Yeah, good example, my friend. Good example. All right. So we're going to talk about this. So it's talking about grow again as far as consider every conversation a potential opportunity. So get to know the person and her needs, recommend the right Avon solution, offer relatable stories that demonstrate your belief, and work to establish your next steps. And I'm going to tell you this doesn't all have to be in one sitting. So I want you to really breathe and feel really good about this module because I think it is probably one of the best ones that we have about selling because we did, some of us are high pressure out there and we do, ask people for the business right there and then, which may scare them. So, just allowing yourself to like step back. So we're going to be breaking down the conversation into small, bite-sized chunks that allow us to consider the importance of each step. So we're going to go through each step a little bit more in depth. Okay, so the G is all about getting to know the person and her needs. It's about starting the conversation, be it with someone you've known for a while or a chance encounter with a complete stranger. Once you get talking, you will have to dig deeper to uncover her needs and wants. It's really important to understand what she wants and needs so you can help her see how the Avon solution can help her later on. So I know with most of your one-on-ones last week, I had to dig a little bit deeper because you had some goals there. So perhaps it was like for a vacation. So digging deep. Okay, so what does a vacation look like to you? How much is that vacation and what sort of time frame? So just allowing yourself to ask more questions that really get to the bottom of what they want in life. So it's all about taking the onus off us and allowing them and listening to them. So there are opportunities that cross our paths every day to start conversations with people we don't know. We call them chance encounters. So think about when and where your last chance encounter was. Some places of a chance encounter could be a friend's birthday party, happy hour, shopping at a department store, the grocery store checkout, neighborhood block party, businesses with waiting areas, retirement homes, and communities. Did anybody have a chance encounter today while they were out and about that would like to share?
Well, I went to Pizza Hut, and the lady behind the counter, I started talking to her. But I gave her a book and a sample. So
Sandra,
I got her info.
Awesome! You got her info. Sandra,
yeah. So hopefully she calls.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Okay. So as comfortable as this may feel, consider the facts. You'll probably never see that person again in your life. And you need to believe in yourself and in your mission. You are there to bring an opportunity to someone that may need it. And I think that's really, really important because a lot of people from the outside, you don't think that they need some additional money, or maybe you think, oh, they would never be interested or whatever. But just know that they can say no, but at least you've offered them the Avon opportunity. I think back to when I was working behind the counter at Estee Lauder, and I was like, gosh, nobody ever offered me the Avon opportunity, and I was earning minimum wage. You know what I mean? I wish somebody would have had the confidence to come up to me and say, hey, you know what? Like, I just like to share something with you. You can take it or leave it or whatever, but I just would like to, you know, just tell you a little bit more about it, because I would have been very open to it. So let's go through. It is important to have an easy way of starting conversations during chance encounters. We have a couple of good options to connect with someone. The first option is to find common ground and ask open-ended questions to get her talking. Say you're in a long line at a grocery store. You might need to say to the next person, wow, this line is so long. Who has the time for this? Once she responds, you could ask her another open-ended question, get her talking, like, how would you rather be spending your time? Another example, if you're on the PTA and you sit down next to someone you don't know at a PTA meeting, what might you say to drum up a conversation? Things like, wow, I feel like I'm a forever PTA member with 3 kids. How about you? How long have you been on the PTA? Once she answers, ask another open-ended question like, life is such a juggling act. How do you manage everything? I can tell you an example I had today. I slept through my, what do they call that, body pump class. I usually go to my body pump class at 5:30 in the morning, and I didn't get back from Savannah till 11:30, and I went to a line dancing class at lunchtime. And it was like really intimidating. So I had to ask, I said to the lady, where would I stand? Where's the best thing? So I got talking to quite a few women there. So has anybody had to make a conversation maybe today or yesterday with someone to either ease their mind a little bit, or the pizza place? Maybe Sandra, you want to tell us about how you started that conversation with that pizza lady?
Well, I placed my order first, and then I got talking about how she's seen an Avon brochure lately, and if she wanted one, and then I got to talking about the Spira, and so I gave her a sample, and so that's how that got started.
Okay, that's awesome. I know, Teresa, you're driving, so I will just, be safe out there on the road. The second option is to compliment somewhere. Remember, always be sincere when complimenting someone. You don't want to sound cheesy and make the person feel uncomfortable. So, for example, if you see a woman who is dressed nicely for a job, you may say something like, wow, you look really sharp. What do you do? And after she responds, you could ask her another open-ended question like, well, how do you like it? So it is always good to catch compliments, especially about Avon products. Wear Avon clothes, accessories, and makeup. And when someone compliments you, it gives you a reason to talk about you, even if the compliment is not related to Avon. Be prepared to ask an open-ended question to keep your conversation going and learn more about the product. And I think that just proves itself. I went for a meeting the other day with the American Cancer Society, and I wore my shirt from Avon. They're like, oh my gosh, that's such a cute shirt. And I was like, it's Avon. And they're like, no way. And I was like, yes way. I was like, how long since you've seen an Avon book? All of that good stuff. And when Alita came, I think she ended up buying 3 or 4 products off that leader. So it was very, very impactful. Okay, so in all conversations, whether they're with people you just meet or people that you already know, it's really important to ask open-ended questions to get their needs and wants. By knowing what is important to a person, you'll be able to share how the Avon opportunity to make a difference in their life. So be interested, not interesting. So for example, open-ended questions. How's your job going? Tell me about what you do. How do you do it, managing a family and a career? What do you think is the hardest part of staying home with your kids? If you could change your situation, what would you change? Why do you like to volunteer with the PTA so much? Oh, that's a good question, right? So they're all open-ended questions. So everyone likes conversations to be about them. It makes them feel good and cared for. You'll make the person you are feeling, you will make the person you're talking to feel good about you and building a relationship with you if you act interested. But hopefully you will be interested in them, etc. Okay, so digging deeper. Once you ask a good open-ended question, it is important to dig deeper to find out what matters most. We call this listening with more questions. So here are some good examples of follow-up questions you can use to dig deeper. If you find out that she really wants to make new friends, you could dig deeper by asking, why is making friends important to you? If you find out that she wants more flexibility in her day, you could dig deeper by asking, what would more flexibility in your day mean to you? If you find out that she wants more money, you could dig deeper, but what would more money mean to your family? Has anybody asked any other questions that they would like to tell us regarding, digging deeper with maybe they've had, one of your team members that you've had to ask some information from? Or maybe your kids, or maybe like when you're shopping with them for like presents and stuff, maybe they want a new baby doll, but you need to say, well, what sort of baby doll, all of those kind of stuff, just asking more and more questions. So think about that. So we're going to do an example with starting the conversation. So Sally meets Sarah at a spin class and asks her to have coffee. So, hey, Sandra, I don't know whether Teresa, if you're not driving and then you can come off mute, but if you are, then don't. I want you to be safe. But I'm going to ask Sandra if you could be Sally and I'll be me. I'll be Sarah. Okay? So what you want to do, you want to read Sally and then I'll read Sarah. And we've just met each other at a spin class. So I think we've been riding crazy bikes and we're going out for a coffee afterwards.
Okay.
Okay, can you see the screen? That's you now.
Okay. You want me to read that? Okay.
Yep. Sorry. Read my mind.
Hi, Sarah. Happy Friday. I am so glad we could connect for coffee.
Me too, Sally. The spin class is awesome, not? We have so much fun. It's a great stress relief. Next. Okay.
I am with you. I feel great after every class. Did I hear you say that you have 3 kids, one of which is in college? I have only one little guy, and I feel like I could hardly keep my head above water.
Yes, that's right. I also have a crazy dog, and my 2 boys are on a traveling soccer team. I spend most of my weekends schlepping them all over the place.
I don't envy you there. What else causes you stress?
Oh gosh, I work from home as a book editor. I spend my days on the computer with very little interaction. I need to connect with a human over the age of 14.
I get it. If you could create the life you dream about, what would that life look like?
Oh, Sally, I'm so glad you asked. I would have less stress. I would have lots of friends to hang out with, and I would have plenty of money to help pay for my daughter's college and travel. I love experiencing new places. So tell me how you think that sounds. What do you think of that so far?
Good.
Good? So we're just getting to know each other. We've been to spin class, all of that good stuff, and we're just finding out. Really, that's just like a friend conversation. But we are now going to dig deeper. Okay, so Sandy, you're going to be Sally again.
Okay. So, Sarah, why do you feel being connected and having friends are important for you now?
Sally, since my divorce, I have felt so isolated. We've had to move into a new area, and I've not felt up to finding new friends.
I totally understand. I am divorced, and I felt that same way when I went through it. You mentioned you would love to have more money to help pay for college and travel more. What would it mean to you if you had more money for these things?
Well, I would first feel relieved that my daughter would not have to graduate from college with a ton of student loans and debt. I don't want her to have the level of stress of such a thing at such an early age. Also, by having more money to travel, I could fulfill my lifetime dream of visiting Europe. So when we think about that, digging deeper, we're just still getting to know the conversation. So you're thinking about it and listening, and you're thinking, gosh, maybe I could help her with the Avon opportunity. I'm so glad I found more about her. So, but we're not mentioning Avon right yet. We're not even mentioning Avon yet. We're just allowing to get to know her, just to see if this is a right fit or whatever it may be. We're just asking questions because we want to know that if people are on our team, that we know them and we know that this is a right fit for them. So the R is all about recommending the right Avon solution. We all know when selling the opportunity, the Avon opportunity is the right solution. If you are selling products, it's important to determine what solution is right for the customer based on her needs. We're going to talk to you about the 3 C's when recommending the right Avon solution. Every time you recommend the right Avon solution, follow these 3 C's and you can't go wrong. 1, clarify her needs and wants. 2, communicate the right Avon solution. Like we said in the Avon opportunity is the right solution when recruiting. And connect the dots. Share how the solution meets her needs and wants. You can see that you can't do these steps unless you get to know her needs and wants, being the G in G.R.O.W. So make sure you spend time getting to know her before you even try recommending the Avon solution. So we're going to talk about the first C, clarifying her needs and wants. You may be wondering why you need to do this. Didn't you just reveal this in the last conversation or the last time you talked to her? Believe it or not, this step is very important. If you do not clarify her needs and wants before you recommend the solution, you will make sure you really understand her needs and wants. You're not going to assume anything. You want to possibly identify additional needs and wants, and you want to make sure her needs and wants have not changed since you had the last conversation, because she needs to feel heard. So just say you've got somebody who's been with you a year. Their needs and wants probably have changed. So it's like, how often, have you touched base with her? Like, what are her goals and dreams now? Like, are they still the same, or is there anything additional that she wants? So the next one is to communicate. Once you confirm her needs and wants, you can share the solution and how it will meet and how it will help her. Here we have an example of some verbiage that you can use as a structure for your recommendation. This is just a structure. Obviously, your words will be more casual. So given your insert your need and want, I recommend the Right Avon solution, which will be able to take you to that Europe trip that you've always wanted to go to, etc. So now you're communicating. So now we're going to connect the dots. Reese. So now we're going to connect the dots. So, are you ready, Sally?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Your turn.
It sounds like you would love to connect with some new people and make some extra money to help pay for your daughter's college and travel. Is that right, Sarah?
Yes, Sally, I would love to do that.
You should join my team as an Avon representative. You can make new friends and be part of a good group of women. The ladies on my team are fabulous. Everyone supports each other and has a lot of fun. You would love them. As a rep for Avon, you could also earn extra money for your daughter's college and for cool trips. You can help and avoid stress when she graduates, and you can take that dream trip to Europe. Who doesn't want to have fun with friends and make money at the same time?
Oh my gosh, that was awesome. How did that feel to you, Sandra? You can be Sandra now. How did that feel to you?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, good. All right. So, once you recommend the Right Avon solution, it is important to offer relatable stories that demonstrate your belief, which is the O in G.R.O.W. It's really important to relate to the person as you build a trusted relationship. By sharing a story or two, you can help her see how the solution has impacted you and others. Stories really illustrate how a solution can make a difference for her. So here we go, sharing your belief. When selling the Avon opportunity, the most important story you can share is yours. Remember the kickoff module? You created your belief using the 4 chambers of the heart. These are the elements of your story. Use them to share how the Avon opportunity has impacted you and your life in a positive way. When talking to a prospect, make sure you relate to her when you tell your story. You may want to say, wow, you're a lot like me, and joining Avon has made a great impact on your life, and I should really try it. But also remember, and this is why it's important for our collaboration calls as we go through this program and working with other people in your area as well, because if you know someone else's story that relates even more to the prospect, you can share that. So it never hurts to relay more than one story about how the Avon opportunity has changed someone's life. So let's listen to an example of how sharing stories might sound. So here is Sally sharing her story with Sarah. So here we go. I totally understand how you feel when you say you need to connect with new friends. When my son went to kindergarten, I was totally lost. My whole life had revolved around him and my needs, and I had very few friends. That's when I found Avon. Avon gives me a reason to connect with new people, and it gives me something new to talk about beyond my son and his needs. I really love it. I have made so many new friends. You know, you remind me a lot of Suzanne. Suzanne is my sister-in-law. She pulled me aside a few years ago and was interested in learning more about Avon. Every year, Suzanne takes a trip with her girlfriends. My brother always complains because they really can't afford it. Suzanne refuses to give up her girl time, so she was looking for something to help pay for her trips. And she found that Avon gave her the opportunity to not only pay for the trips, but to also have more girl time. So I really believe that Avon might be the right opportunity for you. So there she is offering one of her stories, and also because she had one of her friends, her sister-in-law, she was able to share that as well. So once you go through the G, R, and the O, you should work to establish the next steps, the letter W in grow. It is always important to ask your prospect to join your team and then to establish next steps based on how she responds. So let's have a look. So the follow-up is very, very important to this. So we've asked her to join her team. So why don't you get started today? Honestly, I would love to have you join my team. How can we make that happen? Or what additional information do you need to get started? Reese, that's my chihuahua going crazy. What additional information, if any, can I provide to help you determine if the Avon opportunity is right for you? So we want to be prepared for every outcome. So here are some examples. If she says yes, be ready to get her started. Ask for things you need to get her started and make a positive first impression. So think about if you do have someone when you're out and about, or you've met someone and maybe you've met with them a couple of times and they're really ready, like what would your step be? And then if you hear maybe, like help her see more benefits. So if she is sure, what do we say? So we could think about some next steps that you might recommend to further demonstrate your belief in the opportunity. You could connect her with a member of your team that's similar to her. You could ask her to attend a team meeting or even an event to meet the team to see how you work. So that's always good, because I think when people meet other people, they're more relaxed. So when we're doing these pink parties or whatever, it's a great time just to bring them in and just to see if this is the right, position for them, if they're interested. So what about if we hear obstacles? So being allowed to be able to dig deeper. So if you hear an obstacle or objection, the first thing you need to do is ask an open-ended question to learn more. Dig deeper to understand why it is an obstacle and what is driving it. Once you understand more, you'll be able to respond with additional stories of people with similar concerns or how Avon opportunity could still be the right solution. If the objections are too strong, it is okay to move on. Continue the relationship and focus on selling products instead of the Avon opportunity. Know that it is okay if they say, you know what, this just isn't the right time, and they gave you a great reason why, but they want to continue being a customer or whatever. The important thing is to check back with them every so often and just say, hey, I know it wasn't the right time for you then. Let me tell you what's going on and let's see if this is the right time for you now. So you always want to keep that relationship, whether it be a friend, whether it be for product, whether it be for referrals, or whether it be for a representative. So what about if they say no? Take the opportunity to get a referral. Maybe the person knows someone who might be interested in starting a business with Avon. Don't forget the person could also be a potential customer. So ask her some questions that may lead to a potential product sale. Another opportunity might be fundraising. Ask her some questions to help her conduct a fundraiser. And stay connected. Be sure to connect with that person on social media. So the importance of staying connected is the person may change her mind after a while, or she may want to refer someone else in the future, and she may want to purchase Avon products. Not everybody is going to make the decision right there and then, and to build trust takes time. So some people may be a little bit slower out of the gate, and you may have to really convey trust, communication, and they probably need to know that you're going to be around to be able to help them as well. So let's look at identifying the next steps. So no matter what the outcome is, it is important that you establish a tangible next step based on the level of the person's interest. Recommend a next step that feels appropriate. So for example, if they're second guessing, you could say something like, I feel you're still mulling over this. Why don't you sleep on it? Think about any potential concerns or questions, and we can get together again in 2 days. So what we're doing here is we're setting an expectation. By setting an expectation, you'll be calling them back in 2 days. It won't come as a surprise when you do, and actually it will be very much appreciated. Be accommodating. Increase the likelihood of a response by respecting of their preferred communication style. If you only ask for Avon, they don't check it, and maybe they don't check it often, you might run into the risk of missing a great opportunity. Capture her contact information. Oh my gosh. Reese. Sorry, Sandra, they're like, always when I'm on the webinar, they like to have a little check-in. So even if she prefers to be contacted through Facebook, some people don't have very intuitive call signs or names for privacy reasons. So just make sure that you contact all of her correct information as well. Highlight a roadmap of next steps. So this will show her that this isn't your first rodeo, and you're able to offer her valuable experiences based on the level of interest. It's like dipping your toe into the water, if you will. Selling the Avon opportunity is not always a one-time event. Studies have shown it typically takes up to 8 contacts before a sale is made. A follow-up call, text, and email will keep your business happy, healthy, and growing. So, Sandra, are you ready? Are you ready? You want to do like Sally? You'll be...
Okay.
Yeah.
It feels like you are still mulling this over. Why don't you sleep on it? Think about any potential concerns or questions, and we can connect again in 2 days. How do you prefer to be contacted?
Well, I prefer to be contacted by text or phone.
Fantastic. Let me add you now. When we connect later this week, we can determine if you think it would be worthwhile to grab coffee with Kelsey. She's fantastic and reminds me of you. We can also have you attend our team meeting if you'd like that.
Great. I would love that. Let's talk soon. Okay. So how did that sound to you?
Good.
Okay, good. Yeah, it wasn't pushy. It was sort of relaxed. And I think, when you don't sound pushy, it takes the stress off you and takes the stress out of her. So she knows that, whatever she comes back with, it's fine. So all
Right.
your effort to identify next steps will not be for nothing if you do not follow up. So good follow-up shows respect and professionalism. So a couple of things to consider, a few follow-up fails before you avoid missteps. A, not following up at all. Assuming that you're the only thing the buyer thinks about in a day is rather naive. They are picking up, dropping off schedules to consider, grocery lists to create, and birthday parties to plan. Checking in with your prospect is not only appreciated, but appropriate to remain top of mind. I don't know about you, but when I get my hair done, I get an email, I think it's 4 days before, and I get an email the day before. I get a text 3 days before, and then I also got a text 1 day before. And I just went to the dentist on Monday. They sent me an email. They sent me a text on Friday, and then they sent me a text at 5 o'clock in the morning just saying, hey, your appointment is at 8 o'clock this morning. So just to know, I rely on those follow-ups So I'm sure, and if they didn't send me the follow-ups, I would probably forget my appointment. So it's really, really important to follow up. So connecting through Twitter when they requested text. So making sure that you connect with them through the right source of how they communicate. And that's asking you the question. Not offering value. People are busy. Don't waste an opportunity if you can get them on the phone. Have something of value to offer them. Not adjusting your plan. Everyone is different. They want different things for different reasons at different times. Having a plan is good, but also having one plan can sometimes steer you wrong. So consider ideas for the individual and what would be the most beneficial for that person. And guess what? You can even ask them. If you're not making any progress after the second attempt, try a different method of communication. What's the worst thing that they can happen? An infinity of follow-up. Sometimes you have to cut your losses to focus on prospects that may actually turn into high-performing team members. There comes a point when you just need to ask, are you in or are you out? Is this the right opportunity for you, or would you like, is this not the right fit for you? Because at the end of the day, you cannot, this is why I say with everything in life, basically, you can't want it more than them. So you have to be able to put your time and energy into those people around you that will not drain you. So you really want to look at like, gosh, I could really spend some time with this person and all of that kind of stuff. So making sure that if you've got someone and you've been asking them every week to sign up and they're not signing up and you've done everything you can, you know what, cut your losses and let's move on to another person. And maybe in 6 months' time they'll come back. It's up, but just keeping in contact. So after practicing G.R.O.W. conversations with multiple people, sit back and reflect on your progress. So let's have a look at some telltale signs you're rocking it, because it's going to feel a little bit unnatural at the beginning. It is going to feel natural. It's going to be less salesy and more sincere. Your prospect will be at ease. You will be leaning in, and they will be leaning in, nodding their head in agreement, and you will get 15 plus minutes of information being shared with you. They will be eager to set up the next steps and will appreciate your follow-up. And you all know my motto, fake it till you make it. So this is the next application in the G.R.O.W.ing module. You all did it awesome. You all did it awesomely last time, so I'm excited about this one. So I will send it to you this evening. And if you could fill it out and have it back to me by the end of the week, or at least 24 hours, because this one is a little bit more detailed and there is some homework in there for you. But I know you're all doing the 5x5. You're all out there talking to pizza people, all kinds of good stuff. So our question for next Thursday's call is, who is the most interesting person you know and why? So that'll be for next Thursdays. Who is the most interesting person you know and why? So we talked about G.R.O.W. today, getting to know the person and her needs, recommending the right Avon solution, offering relatable stories that demonstrate your belief, and work to establish the next steps. So with that, I want everybody to take a deep breath. We don't have to pressure sell this Avon business, because either they can be a customer, either they can be a representative, or either they could be a friend, or maybe they can give referrals. So just breathe with your Avon business and know that when you follow up, all things will come to fruition. So with that, I'm going to say thank you so much. Have a great Tuesday evening, and